I want to send a special thank you to all my new subscribers. If you have not subscribed, make sure you do so and hit that bell so that way you receive notifications when I upload videos. Hey everybody, so I wanted to give an update on this whole Kevin Hart situation, and y'all know I always do a backstory for those who may not be tracking this story or may not be in the know of what happened. So September 1st, it was a Sunday, between the hours of 12:45 and 1 a.m., Kevin Hart, Jared Black, and Jared Black's fiance, Rebecca Broxterman, who is also Kevin Hart's wife, Eniko, she's her trainer. And so the three of them were involved in a major car accident involving Kevin Hart's classic 1970 Plymouth Barracuda. Now, he had just got that vehicle. He had gave it to himself as a present for his 40th birthday. And the accident happened along Mulholland Highway in Malibu Hills. Now, they were driving down the street and the car crashed into a wooden fence, rolled down an embankment and into a ditch. The roof of the car was crushed upon impact, and Kevin Hart, he suffered 3 spinal fractures, and he later had to have surgery the next day to fuse his spine back together. Now, there's been little information on Jared Black and Rebecca Broxterman, but I'm going to get into that a little bit later. Now, Kevin Hart had just had his car customized by a company called Speedcore. This company has since been silent. They haven't offered any type of comment as to the accident. Now, they're saying that Kevin's car was missing some important safety features that could have prevented or at least minimized the injuries that they sustained in that accident. They're saying that cars that have 720 horsepower should include a 5-part harness or at least a roll cage. And that was some of the features that was missing out of Kevin's car. Now, it's not required and it's not illegal for those cars to not have that feature, but they're looking at possibly changing that because there have been other reports of accidents, major accidents, involving cars that did not have those safety features. So at some point, future classic cars may be required to have that harness to prevent injury or deaths. Now, after the accident, Kevin Hart, like I said, he had surgery. He was up and slowly walking around just days after that surgery, but he has since been released from the hospital where he was there, I think about 10 days he was in the hospital. And so he's been released into an inpatient physical therapy facility where he's going to stay between 1 to 2 weeks to recover from his injuries before heading home to do an outpatient care program. Now, as far as the car is expected to be disassembled to determine what the cause of the crash was, and that normally takes between 2 to 3 weeks. The first 2 weeks, they're going to be breaking down the car, and then the last week, they're going to inspect the pieces of the car and like the chips and stuff to see whether or not they can determine what happened. Now, his wife, Eniko, she's very optimistic that he is going to have a full recovery, and you guys can see some of the videos where she, talks about how his current condition is. So she looks like, she's in high spirits and that, Kevin's going to have a full recovery. Now, I want to get to Jared Black and Rebecca Broxterman because these are the two people that have not been in the media. We have little to no information released or provided on their actual recovery. And I think a lot of it is because they're not celebrities. We're getting a lot more information on Kevin's current, recovery, but we're not getting any information on these two. Now, during that accident, they said that Jared Black was pinned against his seat, and the fire department had to cut the roof off to get him out. And he was airlifted to UCLA Westwood Hospital, and he had sustained major injuries. Now, Rebecca Once they cut the roof off, she was able to get out, and they said that she suffered minor injury, but she did complain about pain. Now, the California Highway Police did confirm that Jarrett was not under the influence and he was actually sober, because they're saying that he was the driver. Now, there was a witness that was on the scene that was driving behind Kevin's vehicle, and he saw the actual crash, and he pulled over to the side of the road and he dialed 911. Now, during his witness statement, he said that he saw Kevin climb out of the driver's side of the vehicle. Now, Kevin's bodyguard was there, and the bodyguard did take Kevin home from the crash, and he was at home about 2 hours before Eniko called 911. Now, I'm sure you guys have heard of that. I heard that 911 call with Eniko, and a lot of people are saying that Eniko was on something. She must have been under the influence of something. I don't know. For all I know, she could have been sleeping and woke up to a lot of commotion happening. And so maybe she was trying to collect herself to try to figure out what was going on. Who knows? But for Kevin to leave the scene, if he was driving, I don't know. This is just what the witness said, that he saw Kevin climb out of the driver's side of the vehicle. Now, people are saying that Jarrett was the one who was driving, and there was it was supposed to be like some space in between Jarrett's body and the steering wheel. And according to them, Kevin Hart was able to squeeze through that space to where he climbed out of the vehicle, and that's why it gave the appearance that he was driving the car. But they said that Jarrett was driving. So I don't know. That's just the information that I got. But the witness, he is very clear when he says that Kevin climbed out of the driver's side vehicle. So I guess it's up for question who was actually driving, but the police is saying that when they cut the top off of the roof, that Jarrett was in the driver's side seat. So I'm not going to dispute that. The only thing I can say is sometimes when you have a lot of money, you can pay people to say certain things. And I'm not saying that that's happened. I can only go by what is being said. But when it comes to celebrities, y'all know that information changes. So if they're saying that Jarrett was driving, then Jarrett was driving. But what I do want to bring attention to is Kevin Hart leaving that crash. And if y'all seen the pictures, that was a dark road. There's not much light on that road from what I could see. So if Kevin and his bodyguard left the scene and went to Kevin's house for 2 hours, had it not been for that witness who dialed 911 to let them know that there was still 2 people trapped inside that vehicle, who knows what would have happened. They could have been stuck in that ditch, and other cars passing by they probably would have not saw them. And so they could have stayed down there for God knows how long. And especially if they had life-threatening injuries, if they had excessive bleeding from the crash, if Jarrett had hit his head, and had a hemorrhage in the brain, y'all know people die from those type of things. So to leave an accident for an hour, 2 hours, and leave people down there pinned in the car that had injuries, I just feel like that's a selfish thing to do. That was a very serious situation to be left in. And come on, Rebecca is your wife's trainer. Jarrett. Like, these are supposed to be, family friends of yours, and you left them in this car accident and just walked away like nothing was wrong. This could have been a very different outcome. So I guess the moral of the story is you have to watch who you call your friends. you know, a bad situation can shine light on who your friends truly are. So, I mean, I honestly hope, I like Kevin Hart. You know, I've liked Kevin Hart since he came out. I love all his movies. He makes me laugh. He's a great comedian. And I honestly wish him the best of luck. I pray that he has a full recovery. I also pray that Jared Black and Rebecca Brosterman have a full recovery. I know those two are expecting to get married. So, you know, like I said, there's no other information that I can find on Jared Black's or Rebecca's recovery. So hopefully the both of them are doing well. And we'll just have to wait to see what else comes out of this situation. But you guys tell me what your thoughts are on this whole accident. Do you think that Kevin Hart left the scene because there was something that he had to hide? Or do you think that he was just a little nervous and just decided to leave? I mean, I don't know. I guess if I was in that situation, I would be more focused on making sure that everybody else was taken care of in that accident as well, especially if I was able to walk away from that accident and my friends are still trapped inside. That would be my main focus. So I'm gonna leave it here. You guys tell me what your thoughts are, and I'll see you in the next video.